Good morning. Happy Sunday to all you guys out there. I hope all you folks out there are doing good. Hope you have a blessed day. I wanted to share something with you. I came up across a article. It says, "Are 4K discs better quality than streaming?" Now, a lot of y'all know that I got physical copies. I'm into collecting physical copies, and I do love my streaming services. So I don't have anything against streaming services at all. Period. To be honest with you, I just don't. At the end of the day, you can get rid of them if you don't like them. You don't like them at all, just get rid of them. That's just bottom line. None of this posting, I hate this, I hate that, and this because of that. The reason why we're in this situation is because we just done had a lot of things that done trickled down to the fact that we're in this situation when it comes to watching movies, streaming services, Hollywood sucking, putting out a bunch of garbage. It's more than just streaming services. I just don't know why a lot of these YouTubers get on here and just preach how they hate streaming services. I just think it's more to it than that. You have COVID, you have the quality of movies, you have Hollywood putting out a lot of junk. It's a big list, but I'm gonna read this article and I'm gonna read it from word to word. And this is from this is called What Hi-Fi. So this is their site. So I'm gonna read it. It says, "Are 4K discs, are 4K discs, are 4K Blu-ray discs better quality than streaming?" Then it goes on to say that comparing the picture quality of physical disc and streaming. It says, "You can't deny the convenience of video streaming, but what about the quality?" So it did say, you can't deny, it said, you can't deny the convenience of video streaming. It just said that. And it says, but what about the quality? It goes on to say that while the best video streaming services support 4K and HDR, can they match the picture quality of the physical media, or are they better off reaching for the or are you better off reaching for a 4K Blu-ray every time? Then it says, let's dive into details. Then it goes on to say, the big one is 4K Blu-ray comes in a range of capacities, each with different bit rates. 50 GB, then it says, has either 72 Mbps, and I'm just reading this off, or 92 Mbps, while the 66 GB and the 100 GB capacities have 92 Mbps, 123 Mbps, or 144 Mbps. Have no idea what that means. I'm just reading this. I'm just reading it word for word. That's bit rate. Then it goes on to say, the bit rate refers to the number of bits of data that are transmitted into the unit of time, in the case of how many megabits are transferred per second. The higher the bit rate, the more data can be transferred per second, and hence the higher picture quality. Most streaming services such as Netflix and Prime Video have around 1525 Mbps. Apple has 40 Mbps, while Sony Picture Core tops the list with 80 Mbps. But that's still that's still a fair way behind what's possible with an actual 4K Blu-ray. Hence, a 4K Blu-ray will usually give you a far more detailed picture. So I'm just reading this. I just thought I'd read this because I just think this is very interesting to a lot of people that, especially the physical collectors. They swear up and down the picture quality is better, but I do think so too. But I still like my streaming. It says, in order to achieve the best picture quality on streaming, you'll also need an internet connection capable of delivering the requisite speed Netflix recommends a 25 Mbps connection per device, which in 4K, while a 115 Mbps connection will give you the best experience with Sony Picture Core. I'll read that over again. In order to achieve the best picture quality on streaming, you'll also need an internet connection capable of delivering the requisite speed. Netflix recommends a 25 Mbps connection per device to watch in 4K, while a 115 Mbps connection will give you the best experience with Sony Picture Core. Even if you have the sufficiently speedy connection, it will still be impacted by the other internet activity. If someone else gets gaming in another room, for example, the streaming viewer will suffer. For the best experience, you'll need an uninterrupted connection, hence the 25 Mbps connection per device that Netflix recommends. So in other words, like I said, even if you have a sufficiently speedy connection, you will still be impacted by the other internet activity. If someone else is gaming in another room, for example, the streaming viewer will suffer. The best experience you need in an uninterrupted connection, hence the 25 Mbps connection per device that Netflix recommends. Compression. Now this is the next part. It says compression. Streaming loses out here too. It says streaming loses out here too. Because the information is being delivered over the internet rather than from the locally running disk. It has to be compressed to ensure consistency, smooth playback. Streamers have to compromise smooth running over picture quality, as otherwise the movie will keep stopping buffering in order to sufficient information to arrive to render the picture in the requisite detail. Now I've seen buffering when I watch stuff once in a while. So I believe that. For example, the AVI1 code is now used in 30% of all Netflix streaming, making the service second most used code. While AVI might be more efficient than rival codes, it still compromised the picture to prioritize smooth playback. All right, so compression is also variable, with the service sending more information for more dynamic scenes like action and less information for static scenes. This can result in an uneven look with occasional blocky artifacts, especially during dark scenes. 4K Blu-rays do not use compression, but to a much lesser extent than streaming, allowing for the higher bit rates and richer 10B colors with virtually no banding. So I thought this was interesting, HDR. Now it goes to the HDR. Again, HDR is significantly better on 4K Blu-ray discs than on streaming, thanks to the disc's higher bit depth and less compression. With HDR able to reach its full potential, you'll get a greater difference between light and dark parts of the picture, meaning brighter highlights, blacker blacks, more detail visible both within these extreme and across the images as a whole. So this is interesting because, there's always that debate, you know what I mean? But I always thought the disc is better. I always think the disc is better, even though I got streaming. Lossless, now it says lossless audio. Lossless audio. There it is right there, if you can see it. Now you can't see it because of the light. Never mind. So lossless audio. While most streaming services support advanced audio formats such as Dolby Atmos, a 4K Blu-ray will still sound far better. Okay? So it says lossless audio. Again, that's the title of this other part of this article. Lossless audio. Now I just went through the part that it said about DVR. Okay, now I'm talking about lossless audio. While most streaming services support advanced audio formats such as Dolby Atmos, a 4K Blu-ray will still sound far better. That's because streaming services compress the audio in order to make it in a smaller file to transmit, losing detail in the process, whereas physical discs, greater capacity, allows for lossless audio, meaning more detail, greater expression, and more immersive and cinematic experience. A streaming service sound quality may vary depending on your internet connection too, making it less consistent throughout the duration of the film. I always kind of thought that, but I just think I always thought the disc was better. Other advantages of the disc. Now that's another title of this article. Other advantages of disc. A Blu-ray has other advantages besides superior picture and sound quality. Each disc is a one-off cost. Okay, did you get that? Other advantages of disc. I'll go through this again. 4K Blu-ray have other advantages besides superior picture and sound quality. Each disc is a one-off cost. A one-off cost, that means you only buy it once. Whereas streaming monthly fees means you're paying each month. And we know this. Especially the ones that hate streaming services. They don't want to pay for nothing, which I don't blame them. That's why they say they hate streaming services. And then there's other reasons why they hate streaming services as well, because you get on there and something's not on there no more and it's been taken off, put on another streaming service. Once you bought a 4K Blu-ray, it's yours to keep. Whereas streaming rights are constantly changing, meaning each service library can vary month to month. Annoying when something on your watch list goes walkies. Man, come on, just lost it. Okay. It says, annoying when something on your watch list goes walkie to a rival service. That's what it says. Sorry about this, my phone blacked out. Now, this didn't take too long. Okay. Conclusion. This is the conclusion. This is the last of the article. There is no question that Blu-rays can offer better picture and sound quality than movie streaming services. So this is from the site that is called What Hi-Fi. That's what it's called. So I thought I'd read that because I personally think that take my glasses off. I personally think physicals is the way to go. I like streaming services. I like streaming services for their originals. I like HBO Max. I even like Disney Plus. Not as much as I used to, but my favorite streaming services is Netflix by far, and then it's HBO Max, and then it's Shudder. Apple's pretty good, and Paramount's not bad, and all that kind of stuff. But they are always interchanging. Like I got on Netflix the other day just to watch something, and there's something on there. I own it, but it was Ready Player One, and even though I got Ready Player One steelbook, it's a beautiful picture, and when you put it in, it looks good. Because I just bought this TV. This TV's not even a year old yet, but it's just a way better picture quality. But in closing, why did I put this up? Because I just wanted to put something on my account, and I found this very interesting. I thought I'd read it word for word from that article, and I always thought the quality of the disc is much better. It's just much better. You don't have to deal with no internet. You don't even have to have the internet. You can just have a 4K player and electricity and a nice TV. Dolby Vision, HDR, and all that. You don't need no internet for all that because all that's on your disc. You know what I'm saying? And here's what I think is going to happen in closing. I think that the reason why, and this is something that I don't like, that you got people that are way bigger than me. And I want to make sure you understand this. I'm just keeping it real. To me, the reason why you got these big sites and these people that's got a lot of views on their YouTube channel and they preach about their physicals and how they hate streaming services and everything and blah 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 and I can't stand, and some of them, they don't really have streaming services, and I understand that. But what they fail to tell you is that they're wanting something for free, and you're just not gonna get nothing for free. Like for instance, if I was one of these old fogey people that, and I'm getting up there in age, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is like people pay for vinyl, and nobody wants to make vinyl. But the companies that are making vinyl, they're going to charge you a lot of money because you want to buy vinyl. So they say, hey, I'm going to make it, but you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. And so, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. These guys out here that's doing all this complaining about, like the physicals going away and I can't stand streaming services. It's not the streaming services' fault. People are just not buying physical copies compared to people that want to just get up, grab their remote, turn something on. Like the average person has 3 to 4 streaming services. So that means whatever that's not on that site is going to be on one of those sites. And you can also just do like cable and get them all. The other day I got rid of Fox 1 because football season's almost over, and it's just I just don't have no use for it. I'm not gonna watch it that much, but I ain't got nothing against Fox 1. I watched the picture, it looks great. But I watched something on Netflix last night, and it looked great. But there's nothing better than owning a physical copy. But in closing, what I don't like when these guys get on camera and talk about their physical collection and all this kind of stuff, and they always compare. I think companies out there are going to say, if these guys want these physicals like they say they want, and they want to collect like they say they do, and now we're starting to get a small percentage of the Gen Zs that's starting to do the collection, you're going to have to pay. It's just as simple as that. I'm just, you're going to have to drop $40 for these discs. I just think. I don't think there's no way around it. You're just going to have to drop $40 for these discs. If you want all that compression and all that quality and all that sound and all that, whatever you're looking for, man, you're just going to have to drop the price. You're going to have to charge them. It costs these companies, some people get on there, some of these guys get on there and say the disc only costs like 99 cents, and they're getting these discs for 99 cents, and they got to do all the artwork, they got to do all the behind the scenes, because a lot of y'all want behind the scenes. Y'all want these actors to come back and have interviews, personal interviews about that stuff. If you want all that, they got to pay these people to come back in, sit down, talk about the movie. Some of them don't even do that. Extended this, extended that, deleted this and deleted that, and you don't think that don't cost them anything? I'm just being honest with you. I never got the concept of why you get mad about stuff. I get it. I just don't think you can get anything cheap anymore. That's just my personal thing. I ain't gonna lie, you guys, I paid $50 for a disc. And that movie was terrible. Terrible. But I didn't want it in this format. I wanted it in this format. And a guy at work said, "You really did that?" I said, "Yep, I paid $50 for that bad boy, but it's in my collection. It was a one-time purchase." A one-time purchase. And a lot of people didn't like that movie. I paid for it. I just wanted it on a certain format, and I couldn't get it. And I ain't gonna lie, it was Until Dawn. It was Until Dawn. I just bought. I'll be honest with you. I bought Aaron Brockovich. I could have got that movie for $20-something, man. I ended up dropping $46 for Aaron Brockovich, 4K. Why? Because I wanted one with a slipcover. Now, you probably could, you could throw shade and stone at me all you want. I'm not saying you're doing that, but I don't care. I wanted it with a slipcover. I wanted Until Dawn in a specific format. I couldn't get it any other way, so I paid $50 for it. Oh well. You understand where I'm coming from here? Don't be ashamed of what you're doing. Don't have nobody go, well, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have done. I wouldn't have never. Well, that's because you wouldn't have never. But you want to bitch about how much stuff costs. Well, I would have just waited till the price dropped. And the price, I think the price did drop on Until Dawn. And I think it did start getting available on that particular, but I loved Until Dawn. I went to the theater seen it. A lot of people thought that movie sucked. I didn't. Megan 2.0. I got that steelbook, man. A lot of people thought that movie sucked. I didn't. And there's so many movies in my category, you guys, that I got that I like. I just get it. There's YouTubers that got mass followers and they got movies they like I think are terrible, but they got their little YouTube clan that just, oh, I love that movie too. I love that movie too. And that's fine. And I'm like, I just, it's just, it is what it is, you guys. So I hope you understand this topic that I'm talking about. I ordered Aaron Brockovich because I wanted the slipcover. I just didn't want the case. I wanted the slipcover. Time I ended up ringing it up, it was $46. No, it was $42. $42. But that's something that some of these called big YouTubers that complain. They won't just. I just think some of them are not honest. I ain't throwing shade at them. I don't get them. I like physical copies, man. I got physical copies in this house right now that's on Netflix. I got physical copies right now that's on Paramount. I got physical copies that's on, Amazon. I got, I even double dip. I couldn't wait. I like the, I like the movie. So I like the movie so much that I just couldn't wait. Just 3 months I had to wait just for the, physical copy to come out, and I just couldn't wait. So the guy's like, dang, man, you did that at work? I said, yeah, man, I couldn't wait. I wanted to watch it at home, man. I just couldn't wait. I said, I know the physical copy's coming out, and then boom, physical copy come out, and I bought it. So boom, internet ever go out, I always got the physical to back it up. It's as simple as that. It's my damn money. At the end of the day, there's people out there that's got hobbies that, it's amazing how people got hobbies and they'll spend money on stuff and they don't think nothing of it. But somebody might be sitting there going, damn, man, you spent that much money on there? I wouldn't have did that, because that's what you wouldn't do. That's not what he wouldn't do. If you want to have there's people's got this is the biggest room in this house, and there's people's got a wall of movies and a wall of movies and a wall of movies and a wall of movies. Just hundreds, thousands of them. And they drop all kinds of money for them. All kinds. They double dip and triple dip. It's whatever you like, man. I like electronics, man. I bought that Steam Deck. I knew that Steam Deck was expensive, but I bought it anyway. I wanted that OLED Steam Deck. Good investment because I really like it. You know what gets me though? As much as I like streaming, and as much as I like my physical copies, and as much as I like my little toys, like my little, game systems, I don't play them as near as much as I own them. But when I do own them, I can play them. Like I played a game last night for an hour and a half. Then I watch something on Netflix, and then I'll pop in a movie. It's just nice because you have the convenience of it sitting there, So anyway, you guys, God bless and have a great day. I hope this video is informative. We'll see you in the next video. Later.